I am Rupert Borgia. I am Sam Nicotero, but that's the character I play, and for the few months that we did shoot the screening, half of the day I was Rupert Borgia. And that is not a comfortable skin to be in, believe me.
After a while, the movies became secondary. I found real art in the murder. Human flesh. That's my medium.
Yeah, you know, Sam is a great guy. He was one of those people that, you know, he's been around in the business in Pittsburgh for a long time. He worked with my dad on a few things. Even when we were talking about creating the character Borgia, we were thinking about people in Pittsburgh that we could use for the role. His name came up more than once. You know, I just sort of figured, I'm sure he's busy. Actually, we had an open call, and Sam showed up. You know, he didn't have to read, he didn't have to audition. I wanted him. As soon as he walked in the door, I knew he was Rupert Borgia. Rupert Borgia became addicted to surgical-style murders when he was a very young man. He would abduct young men and women, and he would kill them and sort of practice his surgical skills on them.
Rupert was an associate of Thomas Edison at the turn of the century, and he used Edison's equipment.
At that point, Edison's first camera had never been used for anything other than just sort of actualities, studying subjects, that type of thing.
It was a brand new medium. Nobody had ever seen film before, let alone film of people being killed.
And he sort of developed a whole new appreciation for what it was that he did.
And he perfected it. He kept at it until he got to where it was considered artistic.
He would watch these movies of his over and over, and he would study and analyze every frame of these films so that each one he could actually make better. In my mind, Rupert Borgia was the first real filmmaker.
And what he left behind was awful, horrible, bone-chilling movies.
Greg Nicotero and his cousin Frank both make cameo appearances in the film.
It was fun being in a scene with my nephew Greg Nicotero and my son Frank Nicotero. I didn't actually interact with them in the scene, but I was above watching as they got terribly, terribly murdered.
He was so happy and excited about being in a scene with Greg and Frank. I remember it was on their Christmas vacation. They all came home to spend Christmas with the whole Nicotero family. Greg and Frank both said, well, yeah, we'll come down for a few hours. I actually think they had a lot of fun too, because they ended up being there for about 13 or 14 hours, and they didn't leave till 6 or 7 in the morning. They brought a lot with them to the set, and they let us just sort of roll camera on them and throw them into different scenes and scenarios, and they just enriched the finished product, I think. I think there's a certain level of trust that you both bring to the set every day.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of great directors. Cameron was like family, and we would have these discussions about the script. And that's where a lot of the creative stuff I feel got done. Is having the director's ear, listening to what I had to say and never turning down an idea I had. He actually let me pick an extra out of the crowd that I would murder. I mean, that was exciting for me.
That I really wanted his character to be obsessive compulsive, and the next day Sam came in with 20 different behaviors. We spent an hour just going over those behaviors.
A lot of the shots in the film were my reactions to what was going on and me looking Bela Lugosi-like.
The way that villains used to be, but I wanted to kind of do it in a modern day kind of feel.
The audience are going to want to see, I think most of the horror film fans, the ones that love this blood and gore stuff, most of them are going to want to see this more than once.